Okay. Well, today I'm speaking from my corner. At this point, I want to ask you guys a question. Do you guys have like a dedicated spot in your house? A prayer corner, a prayer closet? Because once I had found out what that was, like a while ago, I was like, ooh, that sounds like a nice idea. Like, okay. And I always had like this really big, like right now I'm in my little prayer corner and I'm on my little beanie bag. It's like really big. It's like one of those beanie bags that can be a bed or something. And yeah, I think well we all by now should have some type of place that we dedicate to just go there and you just spend that time. You talk to you spend that time talking to God. I definitely be coming with scripture. Now it has become a practice of um when I pray, I have a scripture. I'll start off with that scripture, and then I would get into prayer and all that, and I would and then after that, after the scripture and the prayer, I would just have a regular conversation. Half the time I'll be falling asleep in my in my little corner that I have here. Like, hey, be comfortable. I'll be having my little blanket, and I just be laying here, sitting here, and I'd be like, God, da 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 da, ask my questions. But I wonder, how often do you guys be in your corner, in your prayer corner or prayer closet? I try to make it an hour a day. Like, I try to make it standard. An hour a day. Having that conversation. Most of the time, when I have it while I'm still in bed, because I had just woke up, and I'll have a conversation of the dream I just had. Obviously, God knows that I had the dream, but I would like have that conversation with him, and I would ask him, hey, I just had this dream, I don't understand what it means, blah 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 blah. And I'm learning, because I'm regularly having this conversation with God about my dreams or whatever, of how prophetic the dreams that I have. Like, some of the dreams that I've had, I would say the beginning of this year, maybe like around the summer, I'm going through right now, which is a good thing. That's a good thing. This is a transition. It's a lot of confirmations of a lot of things that's going on in this world right now. The big shift. I actually literally have a dream that I call the big shift that is going on in the world, but it's like personally for me. Me transitioning from this type of lifestyle to this lifestyle of wealth and prosperity and all that. And I'm coming across these it's a lot of Isaiah scriptures, like for this season, or this month, whatever. The scriptures that it's so many. I'm going to list it in this video. One is Isaiah 43 18. Isaiah chapter 43 verses 18 to 19. Isaiah 61 verse 7. Isaiah 66 verse 9 talks about the birthing. This is this month, the number 9 represents the birthing month. So it talks about how God he won't lead you this far for you to not deliver and give birth to what he is bringing out of you, right? A lot of us is going through that right now. A lot of us is literally in the midst of that right now. I'm one of them. I'm one of the many. And what else? First Peter chapter 5, verses 4 to 10. Yes. And let me see what other scriptures. These scriptures keeps popping up everywhere. Even in my personal, especially Isaiah 54. God actually gave me that particular chapter, Isaiah 54, when I was praying one time. And that was my first time like ever reading and paying attention to that prayer. And I'm like, okay, what? Child, what? Yeah. And now I'm starting to think, I'm like, it's a lot of chapters coming from the book of Isaiah. Should I be reading the book of Isaiah? I know right now that God has told me to, ever since I was at work, to start reading the book of Exodus for those who, like for me, who are at a 9-to-5 and you're transitioning from the 9-to-5 lifestyle to a more entrepreneurial type lifestyle, right? Because that's what God is calling you to. So he has told me while I was at work to read about the Israelites and how he rescued them from a bondage, a lifestyle of bondage, a lifestyle of slavery. And he's, from that to the wilderness to the promised land. Excuse me, that's what I'm going through right now. And when you spend more time with God, he does reveal. He does reveal what he has in store for you in your prayer corner, wherever you belong, wherever place, wherever spot that you have dedicated to just it being you and God. He will reveal. He will take you to a word to pray on, to focus on, to study, to get you to apply that to your life, to your current situation right now. And that's what we all should be doing. We all should be in our corners, in our prayer closets, more deeply. Just get into him. Just get into his word. Start with the prayer. Start the prayer with the scripture. Yeah, it works. It works. And I always tend to have my conversations, and I'm learning this now. That after you've prayed, after you've had a conversation with God, to give him time to speak. Give him time to talk. I'm learning that now because I didn't know how hard it was to just sit there and lay there, kneel, however your position, whatever your heart posture is, and just be silent and just let him speak and talk to you. I'm learning that right now. But yes, this is definitely important. This is definitely the time. If you feel like God is calling you to something, calling you to transition, calling you, trying to lead you or have you to leave from a situation, The only way for you to know that, the only way for you to know for certain that that pulling and that tugging deep within you is from God, is for you to spend time in your, for me, in my prayer corner, your prayer closet, in your room, in your car. Your car could be that too. Whatever place or spot or time that you dedicate to God, wherever you build your altar at, to, praise, talk to Him, worship Him. In order for you to know what's going on, to know the no. Okay, Daddy, what's the next step for me? What do you want me to do? What was the last thing that you asked me to do? And after you get there, give Him time to respond to you, no matter how hard that may seem. For people who love to talk, I didn't realize how much I love to talk until it come time to His time talking, and I'm just sitting there or laying there, and I'm like, just waiting for Him to respond. I didn't know how hard that was. But it's definitely over time, obviously, when you get into the practice of that, it gets easier. Yeah, but this is definitely the time. It is very crucial. It is critical. This is the time to get deeper, build that relationship deeper with Him, with God, so that you will know where you need to be positioned. Because every child of God who can discern the times, we feel something is going to go down, good and bad. Especially when the bad things that is going down now and all that stuff, we know soon, very, very soon, something good is following thereafter. And you need to know your position of where you need to be through obedience. So yeah, just if you don't have that set up, get it set up. If you don't have a spot, a place, a time dedicated to God, it is imperative that you have that time slot, that you have the minimum is an hour. You can do so much in an hour. You really can. At first, when I first heard an hour, I was like, what? Pray for an hour? I don't know. But now, that's it. I'm telling you, it just goes by really fast, especially when you're in the spirit. You praying in the spirit, because I don't know everything. I'm learning. I'm unlearning a lot of beliefs that I thought that was true. I'm unlearning that, and I'm learning the actual real truth of how things should be. I'm learning the protocol. So I don't know everything, but so far where I am now, I've had to learn. Yeah, I'm just not learning as an adult. I didn't even know what a prayer closet in the prayer corner was, or I didn't even know people were doing that at one point. Like, yeah, it was really bad. I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't even know what people meant when they said build a relationship with God. I'm like, a relationship? What do you mean a relationship with God? But once you apply that practice to that dedicated time, once you become intentional, It literally makes sense. You literally have to give it time. And it don't take a long months, years of time. When it comes to maturity, right? But yeah, if just get into it. If you feel that tug, in you, yes, that is God telling you, spend time with me, talk to me. I want to talk to you. I want to give you the first step to that business. I want to give you the first step to that ministry, to that book, to that platform that I want you to testify of the goodness that I'm doing for you. Get into your corner. Get into it. When you get off from work, when I get off from work, I would take a shower and I would immediately go into my little prayer corner right here, and I would spend at least an hour and a half praying, listening, writing, reading. And then it'd be many times where I ain't gonna lie, I'd be falling asleep. And, God would talk to me in my dream. And I would write it down. And I would have a conversation. Well, God, this is what I dreamt when I had fallen asleep in the corner. What does this mean? But anyway, yes, I didn't want this video to be too long. But just wanted to know, are you spending time in you spending some alone time with God? Are you, taking time in your little prayer corner? Spending time in your car, because there'll be time there are people who would get off from work and they'll just sit in their car in their driveway. I've done that. I've literally almost spent an hour just sitting in my car, just scrolling TikTok, Instagram. I don't really be on Facebook, YouTube, Pinterest, just sitting in my car. Take that time and spend it with God, because God is moving, and I don't want nobody to get left behind. He don't want nobody to be left behind. This is the time to position yourselves. And in order for you to know where to be positioned at, you got to start somewhere. Where do you start from? Where are you building that relationship from intentionally? Yeah, so just start doing that. Start getting into that, because he's waiting. He's waiting on us. We're not waiting on God. He's waiting on us. When I read that and heard that, I'm like, what? Because that's all I've been hearing going to church. We waiting on God. We waiting on God in certain situations, but most of the time, God be waiting on us to give Him our yes, and for us to submit to Him and surrender to Him. You could do that from your corner. Not that that's the only place to do that, but you intentionally by yourself, spending time with Him. And I've learned that too, and still is learning to submit and surrender to Him, especially in this moment, because I don't know the next step, but He does. And in order for me to stay, what's the word I want to use? To stay in tune with Him, to remain in Him, John 15. I get that information from me being in my corner. So yes, just spend time in your corner, in a car. Intentionally make time for God, and He will let you know what you need to do, where you need to be, where you're going. And He may not even tell you the whole plan. When it comes to me, God, you don't even have to tell me the whole entire plan. You could give me the idea, but just work with me step by step. I'm fine with that, right? Because not only is God waiting on us, but He is patient, and He is merciful, and He is faithful, and He is kind. Yeah, that's all I had to say today.